Hey everybody, today let's take a look at this audiobook written by John Grisham, The Reckoning. It's read by Michael Beck, set in Mississippi, and here's the back, 15 CDs. It was about a week and a half of my commute. Traffic's been kind of bad lately. I think it's because school's back in session. But anyway, here's a look at the CDs, nothing really special. Okay, the story is there's a guy, he's a war hero. And pillar of the community, landowner, not rich, but he's a landowner. He murders the preacher, just shoots him down, and he's the strong silent type, and he doesn't really give the reason why, but it comes out in the end, kind of, sort of. Great characters. I like the aunt and the son. The aunt is kind of eccentric, to say the least, and part of Grisham's thing. What makes Grisham good is his some of his characters. You're really interested in them. It's set in Mississippi, 1947-ish, 1950. Not a lot of mention of too much blatant racism. Maybe at the end, but anyway, the book, most of it is courtroom things, and books set in the South usually have a good trial in it. Where the Crawdads Sing is one. Grisham's work, where it's set in the South, there's always a trial, and this can go back even to Tom Sawyer. There's a trial. There's a trial in there, but it's a capital murder case. Really well written. It's told in three parts. First part is the murder. Second part was what I found most interesting. I didn't think I would, but the character went to World War II in the Pacific, specifically the Philippines, and he was in the Bataan Death March. And I wasn't expecting that, and it was a pleasant surprise. My family history. It is involved with the fall of the Philippines. My grandfather was one of the last Filipino scouts, and he survived the Bataan Death March. He just kind of melted away into the jungle, and his position was overrun. And he was at the beginning of the death march when they were transporting prisoners by truck, and they weren't so harsh. But he melded into he just took off, and they did have a price on his head. But anyway, that was really just really exciting. Especially he wasn't a guerrilla like the main character Pete Bannon. Is it Bannon or Banning? Pete Banning. Gotta get the characters right. Pete Banning was a guerrilla fighter during the war. They mentioned the sacrifice of the Philippine people, and how a lot of them, they threw food to the prisoners, and a lot of them risked their lives to help the Americans. And in fact, just as an aside, there was a Muslim group that was fighting the Filipino government and the Americans throughout the 30s and 40s. They hung an American flag throughout the whole war. In their, I believe they were in Mindanao. They were a Muslim, Muslim separatist group, but they hated the Japanese so much that they flew the American flag just as a way to stick it to the Japanese. And the American flag flew in that area for the full war. Okay, so the first part was about the murder. Second part is about Pete Banning's, time at war, and then the third part goes back to the late 1940s and 1950s. There was a lawsuit. There was a lawsuit involving the murder, and that kind of tied up the loose ends. Finally gave a motive in probably the last 20 minutes of the audio about how about the reasons, and in a lot of Grisham's work is involved with with family secrets and that come out at the end. It kind of the characters that I kind of was interested in, they were just kind of left hanging. The book had to end, but anyway. This is set in Mississippi. The reader, Michael Beck, who I believe, he's been in some TV movies, the Holocaust. I remember him from that. Don't remember Xanadu or the other one. I don't think I've seen Xanadu. Rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. But anyway, the dialect he does is when he does a southern accent, he doesn't play it for laughs. He doesn't make them look like a bunch of white trash hicks. Okay, the accents are very refined. One thing I kind of liked was the bailiff would call to order, and he'd mention the great state of Mississippi. And, that's how true Southerners and people from Mississippi say Mississippi. They call it Mississippi. In the To Kill a Mockingbird, the character who's kind of based on Truman Capote, he says he's from Greenville, Mississippi. And there's a trial in that movie and that book as well. But anyway, I give this one an A. It was 15 CDs, but it didn't seem that long. I mean, I kind of got into it. I've been on a Grisham kick. I listened to The Last Juror and King of Torts. King of Torts, I kind of didn't like too much. I thought that the guy reading it was kind of like breaking the fourth wall, and kind of just like being he's like playing it kind of for laughs. But anyway, Last Juror, excellent, short but excellent. And have you read or listened to this? Have you read or listened to The Reckoning? If so, comments below. Give me a hearty thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye now.